been wanting to learn some fundamental Arnis skills and techniques for a few months now. And when I found out that this grade 12 our topic was all about Arnis, to be honest, I was so excited. I'm looking forward to learn some fundamental Arnis from our professor. I'm excited to learn and expand my knowledge about this Arnis topic because I thought that physical education was only about dancing and health advantages.
What comes to your mind when you found out that your PE subject this semester is all about Arnis? I had no prior knowledge of Arnis, so when I learned that it will be our semester's theme, I was surprised and I had the idea that it will be difficult to learn, but I had fun learning Arnis.
The first comes to my mind, knowing that our PE subject will be all about Arnis is fun. And I felt excited about it because when I was a kid, I love martial arts and I also joined some training about martial arts that includes Arnis.
Mind when you found out that your PE subject this semester is all about Arnis? Since I feel very excited about it since I already encountered Arnis before when I was in junior high school in Pasig. So, an experience, my classmates went on different tournaments. They also use this helmet and a body protector. Well, that's all for my experience, but I am very excited about how our class will go and learn more things about our topic we will have. So I expect also that I will enjoy this subject and learn different tips and techniques to keep me physically and mentally healthy. Also, I want to build a better relationship with my classmates and my teacher in physical education. Also, I want to enhance my knowledge of different movements and techniques about Arnis in our country and learn it even though we are only in the online class session. So,
the first thing that comes to my mind when I heard that my PE class will be entirely about Arnis was that it would undoubtedly challenge me. And I also recall the simple Arnis we had. We took this lesson in grade 8 4 years ago. However, this year, Arnis lesson was much more tough, but I passed.
Number 1. What comes to your mind when you found out that the PE subject this semester is all about Arnis? At first, I thought that learning the different exercises with Arnis sticks was hard. I also thought that the Arnis activities were boring.
What problems do you mostly encounter in your activities or output? The problem I usually have when creating an activity or output is that I have trouble dealing with the stances. So I have to practice or redo it in several times to get it right.
next question we will having is what problems do you mostly encounter in your activities or output? So, this is my answer. I encounter mostly how will I execute well the specific movement since I am just watching it while practicing because I prefer more physical learning with my instructor when it comes to doing some activities in physical education subject. So also I have this old phone that sometimes corrupted videos. So some videos I take after making the whole activity and checking how things go, I am so disappointed about outcome since it was corrupted and I will take a video again of the activities. Lastly, I have encountered on my internet connection that's basically a common problem for all of us since we are in online class. Sometimes I feel conscious when it will be uploaded on YouTube. When will be my activities will be uploaded on YouTube, and I am so sad when it uploaded 12 a.m. in the morning, and I will have minus points for that. So,
The problems that I've encountered into when performing our activities in this subject are, first, a huge capacity of space, because if we don't have a large space to do our knees, it might cause damage to the things in the house. Second, in executing Arnis, I have to memorize the movement first, and I'm having a hard time doing those Arnis strikes sometimes. Therefore, I've done a lot of takes to get a perfect output.
What problems do you mostly encounter in your activities or output? I had trouble getting the correct stance and performing the exercises right. I also found the hand placements, salutes, and movements difficult. Because of these reasons, I feel that the output of my exercises doesn't match the requirements, so I always redo it until I am satisfied.
A common issue I have with our activity or output is that I forget the next phase of the activity. It forced me to redo and spend more time to complete my task. I've also noticed that in the video provided by our teacher, I can't determine if it is right or left. That's why it takes me so long to practice and perfect it.
The problem I mostly encounter when I'm doing Arnis activity is the space, because these sports must exert power with perfect stances that requires big spaces.
I watched the example video several times in order to memorize it. And thank you to our teacher for taking the time and making the effort to show us how to conduct the exercise. And this PE activity requires some patience, time, and effort to perfect the activity that our teacher has assigned.
Third question is, as a student, what strategies did you use to execute the skill needed in every activity? So, first is communication skills. So, there are continues to be an emphasis on ability to communicate. So, in the digital age, however, we have access to a wide variety of new ways to communicate, from video conferencing to social media. So as a student, I needed communication skills to execute every activity that needed prior understanding so that I can execute well everything. Second is reasonable management. So this includes the ability for us students to independently plan, organize, create, and execute rather than wait for someone to do this kind of activity for us. So third is critical thinking and problem solving skills. So there is a decreased emphasis on students who are following directions and an increased emphasis on students thinking critically and solving problems. So in a rapidly changing world, we students need skills that can solve problems, provide ideas, and help improve the organization of activities, and to execute every activity without hesitation or problem. So lastly, adaptation thinking skills. So in the digital age again, things are changing at exponential rates. By the time students learn the newest software or program, a better version of us is coming out. So future students will need to continuously adapt to changing conditions, as well as to be able to learn new things quickly and efficiently. So as a student, we need to learn how to learn and cope on things that causes problems to us while executing every activity.
The strategy that I used to execute this activity is memorizing or familiarizing the step for me to perform them easily.
My techniques for putting the skill into practice in my activities were simple. Practicing and being patient with myself as I go through the movements until I have them memorized.
As a student, what strategies did you use to execute the skills needed in every activity? Watching the video steps multiple times before practicing and being patient with myself to perform Arnis correctly are the tactics I used.
As a student, what strategies did you use to execute the skills needed in every activity? I kept observing, watching, and practicing the skills needed for the activity. I watched plenty of tutorials and followed the movements with the videos simultaneously.
So last question. What are the lessons you have learned in my subject that you think you can use in the future? So in my present physical education subject, it gave me confidence and strength to accomplish every task and problem that I encountered this time. Even though it's pandemic, it helps me value my physical and mental health. So I gave myself a 30-minute exercise, drank water every day before executing every activity. And I don't forget always wash my hand to keep me safe from COVID-19. Also, I learned about how Arnis is important, not just part of our sports. So Arnis can be used to defend oneself. So self-defense is vital because it can make sure we stay protected and secure. So Arnis instilled in us as the values of integrity and self-control. So Arnis, like some of the other sport, should be used to train and teach consciousness for us and discipline. So this also improves our capability to think quickly and strengthens our bodies because we'll be moving a lot on this kind of activity. So finally, it offers a complete exercise. It improves overall endurance, muscular composition, agility, stability, and power while also providing us with a healthier life. It encourages us in improving overall fitness levels, intellectual and moral health, as well as providing us positive and reinforcements and appreciation for martial art beliefs. So that's all. Thank you.
What are the lessons you have learned in my subject that you think you can use in the future? For me, the most important lesson I've learned is about Arnis since I can use it to protect myself in the future and it has many benefits. Like other martial arts, Arnis can be used to practice and teach us self-control and discipline. It also allows us to think quickly, strengthens our bodies because we will be moving a lot.
I can use this knowledge in the future for self-defense due to the fact that Arnis is a stick, and sticks are resources that you can pick everywhere.
I watched the example video several times in order to memorize it. And thank you to our teacher for taking the time and making the effort to show us how to conduct the exercise. And this PE activity requires some patience, time, and effort to perfect the activity that our teacher has assigned.
4. What are the lessons you have learned in my subject that you think you can use in the future? I can use the skills I have learned as an act of self-defense if I ever encounter a dangerous person or someone trying to harm me.
This semester's physical education lessons have taught me that learning basic Arnis techniques is simple if you practice them often enough. Well, I believe I can put what I've learned from this to good use for self-defense and also for cardio.